Why does every recipe I try need 18 ingredients, including a jar of something paste I'll never use again, but will sit in my fridge for 9 months? I just want dinner in the oven, fast. That's why I love Blue Apron's new one-pan assemble and bake meals. They send you fresh ingredients that are already chopped. All you do is put it all together and bake. That's it. No chopping, no weird leftovers, just delicious, easy-to-make meals. Get 20% off your first 2 orders with code APRON20. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
What's up? Adam Grant from Work Life, a TED podcast here, and I want to tell you about something exciting. You're watching every dollar, and Walmart Business helps you stretch each one. From office supplies to snacks and cleaning gear, you'll get everyday low prices, plus easy bulk ordering and fast delivery. And with tools like spend tracking and multi-user accounts, staying organized is simple. Save time, money, and hassle at business.walmart.com. It's free to sign up.
We live in a culture obsessed with dieting, weight loss, and exercise. And that can make eating disorder behaviors easy to miss. But the reality is, eating disorders are serious mental illnesses that take a major toll on your health and your life. But recovery is possible. Eating disorders are more common than you might think. Chances are you know someone who is struggling with one. Or maybe you're struggling yourself. If you're concerned about an eating disorder in yourself or a loved one, I want to introduce you to Equip. Equip is a fully virtual, evidence-based eating disorder treatment program that helps patients achieve lasting recovery at home. Every Equip patient is matched with a multidisciplinary care team that includes a therapist, dietitian, medical provider, and mentors. And you get a personalized treatment plan that's tailored to your unique goals and challenges. Equip treats patients of all ages and all eating disorder diagnoses. It's covered by insurance, and there's no wait list. If you think that you or a loved one could be struggling with an eating disorder, don't wait to get help. Visit equip.health to learn more. That's equip.health.
Oh, hot, 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 hot! Hot, 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 hot!
Hot topic. Hello and welcome to the Neuro Spicy News. Hot topic.
When your news in your feed, yeah, top it like it's hot, top it like it's hot, top it like it's hot. When the tism got an attitude, top it like it's hot, top it like it's hot, top it like it's hot.
All right.
I did some research this time.
Yeah, you sounded prepared.
Thank you. It's a big deal for me and you and everyone listening.
Yeah, well, good job. Good job.
Good boy.
Yeah.
Anyway, what are we talking about this week?
Happy Boxing Day, everyone. This is the day where we box our children.
Yes. 3 rounds in the Thunderdome with the boy.
I was thinking about putting them in a box and then just sending them off to, like, I don't know, Azerbaijan or somewhere.
Madagascar.
Yeah. Bye.
It's not the news. Anyway, what are we talking about today?
Yeah, well, we are talking about apprenticeships for young people and how neurodivergent people are being left out because of age.
Yes, very interesting this. So this is it's on. You can read it at the BBC, which states the government has launched an expansion of youth apprenticeships to 50,000 places over the next 3 years in an effort to tackle unemployment among young people. The number of young people starting apprenticeships has fallen by almost 40% in the last decade, according to figures have shown nearly 1 million 16 to 24-year-olds are currently not in work or learning. It says the expansion will include removing the 5% levy on apprenticeships for under 25s, which I'm honest, I don't know what that means, and offering new apprenticeships in AI, hospitality, and engineering. Would you have done an apprenticeship if it had been in something that you were interested in?
I can't speak about me. Very, very different situation. But I look at my kids and especially my daughter who actually sent me this article because it does involve her because she's got this degree. She's got a marine biology degree and she's kind of just an impasse of just like, where do I go with this? You know, does she want to do conservation? Does she want to be a scientist? Does she want to work with neurodivergence? Because obviously she's a neurodivergent mentor and an advocate and a beautiful writer. And she's at that point in life where if I hadn't had kids or I hadn't been in the situations that I was in, I would have struggled as well, because there were so many things that I would have liked to do, as it is with most people. It's not a neurodivergent thing being indecisive about your future. It's a human thing.
It was crippling for me at university. We've discussed it on the episode that we did with Chris. I was like, what the fuck do I do with my life now? What am I going to do?
So I think like with Sophie, you know, this would be a great idea, because it gives you that chance to find out if you really want to do something without fully committing to actually making a career out of it. It's called, like, you know, testing the water. Also, it might really help neurodivergent people who did find education challenging, like I did, and didn't reach their full potential because the educational system is garbage and doesn't look after us. So I think that the idea of an apprenticeship is a fantastic thing for somebody to follow their special interest, their passion. But it just comes down to how they do it and whether or not it's neuro-friendly. And it seems that at the moment it's not.
Yes. So the article continues. It's got a quote from Rose Atkinson, and her 27-year-old daughter is autistic and has just graduated with a 2-1 degree in animation, which 2-1, fabulous. Animation, very, very, very difficult thing to do. Very undervalued skill, actually. Animation is a very beautiful and powerful thing to be able to do if you can do it well. It is.
But yeah, I mean, it's one of my favorite things in the world.
Absolutely. And I can imagine a lot of neurodivergent people are fabulous in animation, but the quote continues, a 27-year-old daughter of Rose Atkinson graduated with a 2-1 in animation, but is now too old to get onto youth apprenticeship schemes, which cut off at the age of 25. And Rose says, I've asked various organisations why 25 is the magic number, and nobody can give me an answer. But for someone who is on the spectrum that doesn't help my daughter, she needs a long-term internship so that her degree is not a waste. Disabled young adults have the capacity to work and desperately want to work, especially disabled graduate students, but don't stand a chance when it's taken them longer than others to graduate.
Yeah, straight away, my point to you when we read this earlier was that on one hand, they're saying, well, you're disabled because you develop slower. You've got a developmental disorder. Now, I will always argue that is such a surface layer of neurodivergence, that we develop slower and that's a disability, because for a lot of times it's our ability, our childlike ability. And with this young person, her degree in animation, she's probably really good at it because she has that childlike brain.
Absolutely.
She has that childlike ability. So because she develops slower, that's maybe why she's so bloody good at it.
Animation takes a long time.
Yeah. And it's like it's punishing us for being disabled in the way that they tell us we are disabled. So they make the rules. You are disabled because you do things slower. And then they go, right, but we're going to punish you for doing things slower. Make it make sense, dude.
Yeah, I can't.
You can't.
I can't make it make sense, because like there are so many degrees take a really long time. Like architecture takes like 6 years, 7 years. And I have a friend who is an engineer and an exceptional one at that. And he had to have placements as part of his work. And one of the places he has a placement at, he now works at. So there was a pathway. I had a pathway. I did a master's degree in radio journalism and sound storytelling. And one of my lecturers was very good friends with somebody that worked at a radio station. And he got me an interview. In a way, he provided me a work placement internship because I started at the bottom and I worked my way up, but he got me a foot in the door. And not a lot of people have that privilege, have that accessibility. I mean, I've spoken to my dad regularly about internships because he's asked me if there's anything in media internship wise. And I was like, I have no idea, Dad, because he left school at 15 and just went into work. But his internship was an apprenticeship that then gave him the ability to grow into what he does now, which is being a manager of a company. And it gave him a lot of great experience. But I know so many people from my university experience that do not work in what we studied at all. Like, there are some people that never even get a shot at it. And there are many times when I'm sat watching actors on actors interviews or directors talking about plays or films and stuff, and I sit there and I go, well, that could have been me, but only if I'd applied myself more, if only if I'd done this more. But then when I think about it, there's only so many opportunities to go around for certain people. And it frustrates me that the cutoff is 25, because I don't know many neurodivergent people that know what they want to do at 25. I definitely am not doing what I thought I was going to be doing at 25 at 31. And I feel like putting a cap on it is affecting, like, when our frontal lobes develop and things like that the ableism thing of going, oh, well, you need more time to process, but this is the cutoff, feels very unfair, because I know many people that have changed their careers in the 30s that have been exceptional at what they've done.
For a world that loves to infantilize us and then turns around and says 25 is the youth cutoff. So they're happy to treat me like a youth in my 40s. My dog's grumbling, he agrees. You know, and infantilize me and treat me like a child in my 40s, but they don't want to do it when it actually helps a human. I guess it is that sense of neurodivergent justice that really bothers me, and it is that overabundance of empathy that apparently we don't have that makes me just, I really hope this person reaches their potential. I really hope I hope things change for this person and for other people like her. I just want the good things to happen for neurodivergent people who want to do something. Like, oh my God, we're constantly told that we're not good enough, or we're constantly told that we're a waste on government funds, or we're costing the government too much. And here is an amazing human, just like many other neurodivergent people, just like her, who is like, okay, I want to work. I want to provide. I want to, live a fulfilling life, and I want to create something amazing, right? And they're like, yeah, you're too old. What the fuck is that?
It's difficult, isn't it? Because I look back on, like, my university experience. I left with a master's degree at 22. That's 3 years. I've got 3 years between then and then. And I know people that were on my degree that were already in their 30s. My master's degree, I had one lady who was in her 40s. And I don't think you're ever too old to retrain. But there are so many complaints in the public discourse, especially in this country, about how many people aren't working. Oh, they're draining the system, or they don't put into the system. And it's like these people are just sat at home twiddling their thumbs. I haven't met any neurodivergent people that don't want to work in what they want to work in. Like, whether that's animal conservation or working in a museum or being a police officer. I know lots of people that go, I would love to be this, but I can't get in. And there's got to be some sort of change in that they go, oh, there's not enough money going around, they're bleeding the system. But if you give them opportunities to pull themselves out, then the system isn't going to need to support them as much because they can support themselves. And that's the sort of bit that just sort of spins me.
I mean, what's crazy is it's so obvious to us, and we're just like two dudes who are not politicians, not lawmakers, not government officials, and we're not consultants. We're just two dudes. And I'm a security manager / photographer. You're a podcaster / actor. We're just two dudes just living life. And we can figure this out. It's not hard to figure out.
Yeah.
Because in order to figure this out, you need two things. You need brains, and you need compassion. And the government seems to be lacking both. But let's talk about what they, or at least somebody is trying to do after the break.
When you think about meal kit companies, what do you see? Probably long, complicated recipes and subscriptions you can't escape. But with the new Blue Apron, we're doing meal delivery differently. No subscription needed. Faster, easier meals. And the same dedication to quality we've always had. Shop 100+ meals at blueapron.com. Get 50% off your first 2 orders with code APRON50. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
What's up? Adam Grant from Work Life, a TED podcast here, and I want to tell you about something exciting. You're watching every dollar, and Walmart Business helps you stretch each one. From office supplies to snacks and cleaning gear, you'll get everyday low prices, plus easy bulk ordering and fast delivery. And with tools like spend tracking and multi-user accounts, staying organized is simple. Save time, money, and hassle at business.walmart.com. It's free to sign up.
This is a Neurodivergent Experience public announcement. If you live in England and you or a loved one is waiting for an autism or ADHD assessment, you don't have to wait years. RTN Diagnostics is now part of the NHS Right to Choose scheme, which means if your local wait for a consultant-led autism or ADHD assessment is more than 18 weeks, you can choose RTN instead, and it won't cost you a penny. Jordan chose RTN for his own family because their care and attention to detail were second to none. They didn't just diagnose autism and ADHD, they looked at the full picture, including PDA, OCD, anxiety, and more. The team is friendly, neuroaffirming, and comprises many neurodivergent individuals, so they truly understand. Getting started is simple. Download the GP referral letter and questionnaire from the link in our show notes, take those to your GP, and ask for a referral to RTN Diagnostics. If approved, RTN will be in touch within 8 weeks to begin your assessment. Remember, this only applies in England and some exclusions do apply. RTN is not currently able to accept referrals for child ADHD assessments, so check the details before you start. RTN Diagnostics, helping you get the answers you deserve without the wait. Welcome back to this week's hot topic. We have been discussing an article that was on the BBC stating 50,000 new apprenticeships promised in the youth employment push. However, they've said that the cutoff for youth apprenticeship schemes is 25, and so many of us are late bloomers and late developers. And one person has stated their 27-year-old daughter can't get any help, can't get into any work. And speaking to BBC Radio 4's Today programme was Skills Minister Baroness Jackie Smith. And they've said they want to focus on reforming the apprenticeship system. Now, obviously, as we've discussed it just before the break, so much needs to be done with these systems to give people help. So I'm very intrigued to see what they have to say, which is the real priority for us with apprenticeships is to put right what we've seen over the last 10 years, which is a reduction of 40% in young people starting apprenticeships. Apprenticeships which can really set you on the route to a high-skilled job, sorts of earnings and the sorts of jobs that young people want. So we are making a determined shift of apprenticeship training back towards young people again. We're fully funding apprenticeship training for young people in small and medium-sized businesses, unlike previously, and we are reforming the rest of the apprenticeship system that we can offer short courses for adults. On complaints from larger companies that changes to the levy will make it less efficient, she said, we're open to the concerns that employers have and how we actually deliver it.
I do wonder what those concerns are, but if the cutoff is, if they're going to do this and then the cutoff's at 25, that's ableist as hell, and that needs to change immediately. That's what I would change. But they should have an apprenticeship scheme that is specifically for people with neurodivergent related conditions, or just disabled people. There should be a separate thing. And I don't like being separated, but that is sometimes you need to be separated for accommodation. Sometimes I need to go upstairs, or sometimes I need to go away. Yeah, exactly. Equity for inclusion is to create something different, in the same way as you get men and women's football. Because if women played men's football, that's not fair. So you want to make women's football so you can have a fair, separate thing. And that's what they need to do with disabled people, and because otherwise we're constantly competing against neurotypicals and then being compared to neurotypicals and then just coming up short because their understanding of how we do things isn't good. It's bloody crap. And this is exactly what happened to this poor girl, is that because she's 27 and they were like, no, it's 27. So maybe do a completely separate one and say, the cutoff is, there isn't one. Or 30 or something like that. Just be more inclusive, I guess, but separate it if that's what they have to do.
Well, they're discussing this as like a youth scheme. If a huge percentage of young people are out of work, there needs to be an incentive to get them into work. And I understand that, like, I could have easily have gone down the route that my dad works in, which is construction. I could have got an apprenticeship and could have been making 2-3 times what I'm making now, but I wouldn't have been happy and it wouldn't have suited me as a person. And my dad openly said to me, I don't think you should do it. And it's why I went down the route that I went down. And half of the time, I don't think my dad wants to do it, let alone, asking me to do it. And I think about this woman who was quoted's daughter, who's working in animation. There are so many other economical outputs that this country does other than just labour, hospitality. Britain as a country is known for our storytelling, our filmmaking, our media, our theatre, our comedians. There's so much that it brings to the economy that just sort of is an afterthought because people see it as like wishy-washy, fluffy shit. And so many of the people that have got in 50, 60 grand's worth of debt to get a university education have been told, generationally, systematically, if you study, if you work hard in a thing that you want to do, you will just get to go and do it. And that is the biggest fucking bullshit I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, it's fantasy.
It's a joke. And animation, what I do, podcasting, audio, is a medium that is growing into it's a big industry. It's a big business. But the majority of people that work in it are over the age of 40. There's not a super lot of young blood coming in because the majority of them go, I can't do work placements where I don't get paid. I can't do this sort of stuff that's just free work. Like the amount of times that people just said to me, just volunteer at a radio station. Like, I can't volunteer at a radio station if I'm having to work in a bar because I've got to pay rent. I'm capped out because I don't have a free hit, which is where the apprenticeship thing comes in, is you're working in something, not only with the prospect of having a job in it, but you're already getting paid. It's I would love to work in animation, but I can't work for free for a year to prove I can do animation because I've got to put food on the table. And then I am using the support system, which then I am a drain on society, apparently, because why not just get a normal job that pays money? Why do you have to do that specific thing that you're trained for and brilliant at if you have to then claim disability because you have to work for free to get into the industry? It doesn't fucking make sense. It's capping people out because the money's all being held at the top and not a lot of people are getting the entry level. And it's going to affect these industries long term because you're going to get people that are like what I've done, like what Karis did, who works in hospitality the majority of their 20s, not through choice. Karis wanted to be a makeup artist. I wanted to be an actor and a podcast producer. It only happened for each of us as we hit 30 because we were trying to make it work alongside also trying to make money and eat and build a life. You can't do both. You just can't do both.
No, in security, I'm definitely not doing what I wanted to do. I've openly said that many times. And I was hugely let down when I was younger for many, many reasons, education just being one of them. But, as a parent, you want better for your kids. And my kids both went and did really good degrees, economics, marine biology. They both got 2-1s. They both neurodivergent. They both really, really found it challenging and both did it. And I don't think either of them are going to be using those degrees for those exact specific jobs. But what those degrees will be used for is proof that they are capable of being high learners, that they're willing to work hard and put the energy into learning. And I think that's what employers are looking for, is somebody that's willing to do the job and to be a good learner and to train and stuff like that. So they're kind of using their degrees as clout more than actually what they've got a degree in.
Mm.
But this is the other thing. It's like Sophie could go and do a master's, and then she could then maybe retrain, do something else. And before she's figured out what she wants to do with her entire life, she might get to 27 and still be struggling, and then go, oh, there's this amazing youth scheme. As far as I'm concerned, 27 is still very young, especially now when people are working.
Mate, I'm 31 and it feels young.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, apparently I should be moving to like America to play football now in my career. Like, I'm on the tail end of, I'm going to Saudis for my last payday at 31. Yeah. I don't even feel like I've started sometimes.
27 still, to me, that is a youth. That's someone in their youth. I mean, I wish I was 27 again. Jesus, I'll be reliving my youth. I think it's like, it's like everything when it comes to neurodivergent people is that comparison of just like, oh, we're going to treat you like we're different, like you're different, but only when it suits us.
Oh, Merry Christmas, everyone.
We are here as the conduit. We are not the solution.
No, we can discuss it. We'll figure it out. But again, you and I have sat here for 25, 30 minutes and had a little discussion about this. We didn't need to spend £1 million of taxpayers' money on a research thing to figure that out. We didn't have to go and knock on people's doors to find it out. We know from lived experience, from knowing your kids. And I am now 31 years old, and it's only the past 18 months that I have worked in podcasting full time. Every other time I've worked in broadcasting, I've had multiple jobs to make ends meet because I've had one foot in the door, but not enough to financially live with a comfortable life. And even now, I wouldn't say I've got like a super comfortable life, but it's a lot better than it was a year before. And, I just think we need to give young people, and especially young neurodivergent people, the absolute best opportunity to fulfill their potential, because you look at what we as a people have achieved, potential is limitless if given the opportunity.
I agree.
Merry Christmas, everybody. This has been your Hot Topic. We will be back in the new year. We're not sure if we're going to have a little bit of time off. We may do, we may not do. Who knows? We'll find out later. Bye, everybody.
Nightly bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Neurodivergent Experience. We hope today's episode sparked something for you, whether it's a new idea, a bit of validation, or just a moment of connection. Remember, new episodes are every week, so be sure to join us for the next one for more conversations and insights into the neurodivergent experience. If you've enjoyed this podcast, help us grow. You can do that by rating and reviewing this show. Your support makes a huge difference in helping us reach more people who could benefit from these conversations. You can connect with us on social media. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Just search for the Neurodivergent Experience. Thank you again for listening. And until next time, take care of yourself. You're not alone in this journey.
We live in a culture obsessed with dieting, weight loss, and exercise, and that can make eating disorder behaviors easy to miss. But the reality is, eating disorders are serious mental illnesses that take a major toll on your health and your life. But recovery is possible. Eating disorders are more common than you might think. Chances are you know someone who is struggling with one, or maybe you're struggling yourself. If you're concerned about an eating disorder in yourself or a loved one, I want to introduce you to Equip. Equip is a fully virtual, evidence-based eating disorder treatment program that helps patients achieve lasting recovery at home. Every Equip patient is matched with a multidisciplinary care team that includes a therapist, dietitian, medical provider, and mentors. And you get a personalized treatment plan that's tailored to your unique goals and challenges. Equip treats patients of all ages and all eating disorder diagnoses. It's covered by insurance, and there's no wait list. If you think that you or a loved one could be struggling with an eating disorder, don't wait to get help. Visit equip.health to learn more. That's equip.health.
Hey, it's Mark Marin from WTF here to let you know that this podcast is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. And I'm sure the reason you're listening to this podcast right now is because you chose it. Well, choose Progressive's Name Your Price tool, and you could find insurance options that fit your budget, so you can pick the best one for your situation. Who doesn't like choice? Try it at Progressive.com. And now, some legal info. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Build the perfect holiday meal at Whole Foods Market. From traditional holiday must-haves to creative twists, everything must pass their strict ingredient standards. Grab sales on their impressive centerpiece mains with no antibiotics ever. Aim to please with limited time desserts like chocolate bourbon pecan pie. And ring in 2026 with sales on quality seafood. Shop for your celebration at Whole Foods Market with so many ways to save. Terms apply.